Number 10. Tom Hiddleston and Taylor Swift. If you've ever dated Taylor Swift, then there's a very good chance she's written a song about you. Swift has been basing her lyrical masterpieces around past relationships for a majority of her career. Splitting up with someone is never easy, but whenever this happens to Taylor, it gives her a chance to pump out another top charting track that is sure to keep us dancing the night away. This was unfortunate for Tom Hiddleston though, best known for his role as Loki in the Marvel Universe, briefly dating the singer in 2016, even briefly being dubbed Hiddle Swift by fans. That's so cute. The couple was together for a grand total of 3 months, but during that time were very public about their activities, almost trying to sell us on the idea that they were just so happy together. The timing of this was just a little too suspicious, as Hiddleston had just begun production on Thor Ragnarok, and Swift was working on her then unreleased album Reputation. The two seemed to be using the relationship's strong media attention to their advantage, with past album sales growing up to the point of Reputation's release for Swift, and buzz surrounding Ragnarok was in full swing till its premiere the following year, eventually becoming one of the highest grossing Marvel movies of all time. Yeah, sus guys. Number 9. Jennifer Lopez and Drake. It all started back in 2013 when Jennifer Lopez made a jaw-dropping entrance at the Grammy Awards. She walked out in a stunning off-the-shoulder black gown dress, and Drake's jaw dropped. The moment became a viral GIF, which certainly caught the attention of J-Lo, because over the next couple of years, Drake was spotted, popping up at a number of Lopez's All I Have concerts in Las Vegas, Nevada. In one instance, Drake posted a photo of himself holding J-Lo's diamond-encrusted hat while she slayed it on stage. Soon after, rumors began flying that the two had secretly been together for quite some time, with some photos suggesting that they were spending a lot of their quality time together. With no warning, Drake posted a photo of himself and Jen cozying up together, seemingly confirming the relationship, but many people were suspicious of the true nature of their relationship, including pop singer Rihanna, who unfollowed Lopez on social media following their announcement. The relationship eventually fizzled out at an unspecified amount of time later, and the two never spoke about it again. But these two getting together created such a buzz on social media that their followers grew by thousands, which was probably the real reason these two went public in the first place. Number 8. Kristen Stewart and Robert Pattinson. His skin was pale and his cold, and that's how Kristen seems to like him. The late 2000s were dominated by the Twilight series, films centered around Bella, a new girl who just moved from sunny Arizona to rainy Washington State, and Edward, a handsome but mysterious teen who, spoiler alert, he's a freaking vampire. Stewart and Pattinson played the characters over the course of 5 films, and the chemistry was very apparent, so much so that they decided to move that chemistry off the screen. Over the course of the 5 films, the pair would get together and split over and over, claiming the time and time again that they simply just needed a break from each other. Now, we didn't buy this for a second, as their reunions always seemed to take place on set, filming the next movie, or just coinciding with the time of the red carpet events. It was just very clear that it was a Hollywood PR person forcing these two to continue pursuing something that may have once existed, but had most certainly been drained of its blood. Number 7. Steve-O and Nicole Richie. Steve-O, the stuntman, is known for doing some wild things. He's been blown up, shot out of speeding shopping carts, and he's even kicked a shark one time because it was about to bite his foot off. But the wildest thing he's ever done of all? He settled down. In 2006, himself and reality TV star Nicole Richie had been spotted spending a lot of their free time together at restaurants and parties and concerts. At the time, Richie's show The Simple Life, which was a reality show starring herself and Paris Hilton, was in its last season, and Steve-O was riding the wave of success following the recent release of a sequel to a movie whose title could get us demonetized. So it makes sense that Nicole would plot a publicity stunt to draw attention to herself and to attempt to keep a hold of her show. This did not work, as the show remained cancelled, and the pair called it quits only a few months after they had gotten together. Steve-O has since moved on, as is now engaged to his girlfriend, Lux Wright. Yeah, dude! Number 6. Jennifer Aniston and Vince Vaughn. The Breakup is a 2005 romantic dramedy starring Aniston and Vaughn as a couple who are stuck living together following a nasty split that leaves them fighting for custody of their apartment. This sounds like a cute movie. You know what's even cuter? The pair became a couple in real life. They were regularly seen off set having dinner and snuggling up together, sparking news of another screen couple turned true lovers. Well, in 2006, that news shifted to accuracy of film title astonishes all, as the couple mutually called it quits, agreeing that the relationship had run its course. Convenient timing, considering for months before their film premiere, the couple was creating buzz online, getting people excited to see the real-life couple acting together on the big screen. But despite the attempt, the film received poor reviews and the PR play had seemingly proved useless. Now, while this may have been a stunt, the two recount sharing a wonderful time together, with Aniston even saying that Vaughn was the defibrillator she needed after a rough divorce from Brad Pitt. I don't know why that's a good thing. That sounds very painful.
Number 5. Ned Fulmer and Ariel Fulmer. Since Ned Fulmer cheated on his wife Ariel Fulmer back in September, the scandal has pretty much took over the internet. And every month, fans are still wanting to know if the couple is actually still together. Ned, who married Ariel in 2012, definitely had a lot of fixing to do to his relationship after it started to circulate that he had cheated on Ariel with Alex Herring, who is the producer of The Try Guys, a video company founded by Ned and 3 former BuzzFeed employees. The rumors came from a Reddit thread that noted Ned was missing from 3 of the Try Guys' latest posts at the time, as well as the group's podcast. It was also noted that Ariel was missing from her podcast, You Can Sit With Us, which she hosts with the partners of the Try Guy members. Rumors then started to be speculated that the couple were caught kissing at a club in New York City, and then a photo claimed the rumors were true came out. As a result, Ned would find himself being booted from the show, but he was somehow able to save his relationship with his wife Ariel in the process. At number 4, Gabrielle Union and Dwayne Wade. While many of us thought that Gabrielle Union and Dwayne Wade were the perfect couple throughout the years, their relationship has really been put to the test, as they've been together for over 13 years, and in that time, they've weathered hectic schedules, infertility issues. In Gabrielle's 2021 memoir, You Got Anything Stronger, she would reveal that they have survived infidelity as well. In the book, she would write that in 2013, before they got married, Dwayne would cheat on her and would father another child with another woman. She would then also go on to say, it should go without saying that we were not in a good place in our relationship at the time that the child was conceived. To say I was devastated is to pick a word on a low shelf for convenience. In an interview with People magazine in 2021, the couple also opened up about how they made things work with Dwayne, saying it's about learning about each other, learning what she wants for her life and for her career, for trying to support all those things, which Gabrielle replied, we humble ourselves, listen, and we meet in the middle. Number 3, Woody Harrelson and Laura Louie. Woody and Laura's relationship started when he hired her to be his assistant back in 1987, and years after working together, they couldn't deny that they had fallen in love. Woody even wrote a song for her to express his feelings, and then he would tell The Hollywood Reporter that after he played the song, she would say, Woody, I've been in love with you for the last 2.5 years. But what started off as a fairy tale come true would be put to the test in 2002 when Woody went home with not 1, but 3 different women, one of which turned out to be working with the paparazzi and leaked a story to a publication called News of the World. In the same Hollywood Reporter profile, Woody would open up about the challenging time and how Laura stood by his side through it all. He would even say, Laura, this really gives you a sense of depth of her compassion. When she said to me after finding out was that it must be really hard for you to have this stuff exposed, he would then go on to note that that didn't mean that she wasn't upset and that she gave him the standard Texan grovel before forgiving him. Number 2, Brittany Cartwright and Jax Taylor. Vanderpump Rules stars Brittany Cartwright and Jax Taylor really went through the emotional ringer after Jax met Brittany in Vegas between seasons 3 and 4. The couple was then put to the test 2 years later in 2017 when it came out that Jax had cheated with his former co-worker and co-star Faith Stowers. Talking about his infidelity in the interview with US Weekly, Jax would say, I just kind of fell into a deep hole, and that happens out here sometimes. You get sucked into this lifestyle. Ultimately, Brittany decided to stay by his side and even accept his marriage proposal a year after the scandal happened. And then she even said, I see him every single day making efforts and he's completely changed. The way he treats me, the way he talks to me, the way he listens to me. Every single thing about our relationship is better. In the time since, they have left the reality show to focus on raising their son Cruz, who was born in April of 2021. And coming in at number 1 today, we have Tori Spelling and Dean McDermott. Tori and Dean first met on the set of the 2005 movie Mind Over Murder, and naturally the two had amazing chemistry, and by 2006 they would find themselves getting married. But in 2014, after 8 years of marriage, 4 kids, and a reality show, Dean would come clean about cheating on his wife on an episode of their show True Tori. In the episode, he would say, "I feel ashamed. I never felt shame before. You were at a Christmas event and I was effing around. That's disgusting." Tori has since actually been pretty open about the work they put into their marriage over the years and the ways Dean's cheating has affected their relationship. In a 2020 interview on the Woman on Top podcast, she said they were still dealing with the repercussions of his actions, but that "I can make my own money, I can be a single mom, but I actually really love him and want to work on this. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out, but we're going to try."
At number 10, Lil Nas X. This year, Lil Nas X made a lot of headlines. He released a new album, rocked red carpets, but also got himself into quite the scandal as well. On March 26, 2021, Lil Nas X released his song Montero, or Call Me By Your Name, and both the song and subsequent music video was hit with a lot of backlash. The song included some adult themes, as it would, but the majority of the backlash for this release came from the rapper's music video. The video had a heaven and hell theme and included Nas dancing for the devil, so to speak. You know what I mean. A lot of people didn't like the video because of how raunchy it was and because of the biblical imagery and themes. But as if that wasn't enough backlash, Nas also got himself into some pretty big trouble when he released a collaborative shoe with Mischief that they called the Satan shoe. These sneakers were a redesign of the Nike Air Max 97s, and because this design wasn't authorized by Nike, Nas and Mischief got in trouble. They also faced backlash for putting a quote, "single drop of human blood" in the sole of the shoe. For a couple of weeks, Nas faced all kinds of backlash, but he didn't let that knock him down. He remained pretty unfazed by the whole thing and bounced back from the scandal with no problem, but for a couple of weeks there, he became Twitter's public enemy #1. At number 9, David Dobrik. YouTuber and former Viner David Dobrik is one of YouTube's biggest creators, but this year he got royally cancelled. Other than being super popular on the platform with over 18 million subscribers, he's also found success in Hollywood as well, since he's been cast on TV shows as a host and judge on a few game shows. However, this year David's popularity started to fall and his praise turned into scrutiny as people started to come forward with allegations of and bullying against David. Former members of David's YouTube friend group called the Vlog Squad came forward calling David out for bullying and creating a toxic environment, as well as orchestrating pranks that resulted in one friend getting hurt. On top of that, a former fan came forward naming a Vlog Squad member as the person who hurt them while they were under the influence, and also called David out for filming part of their alleged. Because of David's content, he caused a lot of controversy, emotional pain, and distress, and he's only recently bounced back from the drama he faced earlier this year. Before we carry on reflecting on this year's past scandals, why not leave a like on this video if you're enjoying it so far, and while you're at it, maybe consider smashing that subscribe button as well to see more videos like this one. At number 8, Armie Hammer. I'm sure you guys are all familiar with this scandal by now, but this one has to be on the list because it was the first one that really blew up this year and it kicked off the celebrity scandals of 2021. Back in January, some of Armie's private messages with other women came to light, depicting the actor in a not so flattering way. The messages leaked by the Instagram page House of Effie exposed the actor for his bedroom fantasies, among other adult things, and this created a snowball effect that led to multiple people coming forward with their own allegations of misconduct against the actor. Things took a serious turn and soon an investigation was launched to look into some of the claims made by some of Armie's alleged victims. Because of the scandal and its severity, this took a huge toll on Armie and his career. As we know, no one is quick to forget a scandal like this one in Hollywood, so as a result of the drama and allegations against him, Armie started losing everything he worked for, including movie roles and representation in the industry. No one knows what the next step is for him, or even if there is a next step for him to take. At number 7, Marilyn Manson. Another really huge scandal that happened this year came from singer Marilyn Manson, and it caused a lot of drama in Hollywood and the music industry. It all started when his ex-partner, actress Evan Rachel Wood, came forward with an Instagram post calling out Manson as someone who had harmed her for a long time. In her statement, Evan cited how manipulative Marilyn was, accusing him of brainwashing her and telling her fans about how Manson had caused her so much mental, physical, and emotional pain. This caused caused even more people to come forward later on, including Game of Thrones actress Esme Bianco, who came forward with some of the horrible encounters that she had with Manson. Following this scandal, Manson was dropped from his music label, and the LA County Sheriff's Department began an investigation looking into some of the allegations against the singer. At number 6, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. This year, the annual Met Gala came back after being skipped last year due to the pandemic. We knew that something dramatic was bound to happen, but no one expected that it would come from Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. AOC showed up to the event this year wearing a white dress that had the words "Tax the Rich" written in red on the back. It was designed to be a political statement about the ongoing debate on whether the wealthiest people should be paying taxes like the rest of us, but instead of sparking a conversation about it, people instead started calling AOC a hypocrite for trying to make this statement at an event that is attended by Hollywood elites who pay 30 grand for a ticket. This became a hot topic on social media and in the news, but AOC didn't really face too much heat for it. It just made a lot of people mad, but hey, it did get people talking, right?
Halfway, number 5, Monica Lewinsky. The scandal involving Bill Clinton and Monica Lewinsky is one of the most shocking of all time, and it's still so interesting to the public that the scandal was outlined in the latest season of American Crime Story titled Impeachment. In 1998, it was exposed that the President of the United States, Bill Clinton, engaged in sexual relations with a White House intern. At the time, multiple other women also came forward to expose his predatory behavior was a pattern. At first, he strongly denied it, but then a woman named Linda Tripp exposed that it was a lie because she had taped Lewinsky talking about her affair with Clinton. After it was exposed that he was a liar and cheater, he was impeached for lying under oath. He was impeached by the House of Representatives but acquitted by the Senate, so he remained in office until his term ended. In at number 4, Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson officially lost it in the eyes of the world in 2002 when he dangled his son over a balcony in Berlin, Germany. People were waiting below and were horrified thinking that Jackson could drop him. Michael later admitted it was a mistake in doing so, saying he was simply excited. He said in a statement after the incident, quote, "I got caught up in the excitement of the moment. I would never intentionally endanger the lives of my children." However, many did not accept this statement. Michael's close friend at the time, Uri Geller, condemned his actions, saying, quote, "I just would not put any child over a railing at such a height. I think it was a silly thing to do. He probably did it because he was overwhelmed emotionally by the fans." And at number 3, Martha Stewart. The queen of homemaking, Martha Stewart, shocked the world when she was sent to jail for insider trading. In 2002, it was announced that she was being investigated for selling off thousands of shares of a company called Clone Systems, because she learned the stock was going to be dropping drastically and didn't want to lose money in the market. She served 5 months in prison for her crime, but shockingly, her time in the slammer did not affect her career very much. Right after she got out, she was back to work, and now it's safe to say her reputation is completely healed following this incident. And at number 2, Tiger Woods. Golf is generally a game that's pretty boring in terms of scandals. The league of golf is generally very professional with little to report about other than the results of tournaments. But that all changed when the king of golf, Tiger Woods' private relationship was put on display, and we were all shocked about who he really was behind closed doors. In November of 2009, the National Enquirer exposed that he'd been cheating on his wife with a nightclub hostess. Days later, many other women came forward, and it was reported that he slept with hundreds of women while married. After many years of being blacklisted from golf, Tiger was able to come out on top once again and won the Masters in 2019, although his reputation has been tainted once again after reports surfaced that he got in a terrifying car crash. His car went off the road and fell off a cliff, leaving his car flipped. And finally, at number 1, Kanye West interrupted Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift's acceptance speech at the 2009 VMAs is easily one of the most memorable of all time. Kanye West's interruption happened moments after Taylor accepted her award and became the start of a long-running feud that has pitted Taylor and Kanye fans against each other ever since. Kanye felt that Beyonce deserved the award more than Taylor and grabbed the mic from her, saying, quote, "Taylor, I'm really happy for you, I'm gonna let you finish, but Beyonce had one of the best videos of all time. One of the best videos of all time," before being booed off the stage. Taylor was later let back on stage to re-say her speech, but the damage was already done. Tons of celebrities came out on social media to defend Taylor against Kanye's actions.
Number 10. George Reeves, Superman, dies in supposed suicide. George Reeves, best known for portraying Superman in the 1950s TV series Adventures of Superman, tragically passed on June 16, 1959 from a gunshot. While it is widely believed to have been a suicide, some suspect that he was murdered. Many actors in Hollywood at the time did not believe the suicide story, and instead believed that he was murdered. In the book Hollywood Kryptonite,
Authors Sam Kashner and Nancy Schoenberger believe that Toni Mannix, the wife of Eddie Mannix, a known fixer and vice president of MGM, was involved in some way as she had been having an affair with Reeves. Eddie Mannix was rumored to have ties to the mafia, so his involvement is certainly possible. Toni had confessed to a priest that she was involved. However, her testimony is unreliable as she suffered from Alzheimer's disease, and thus it's impossible to know if her confession was legitimate. Number 9. Fatty Arbuckle. One of the first big scandals in Hollywood, Fatty Arbuckle was a celebrity during the silent film era. However, at the height of his career, he was put behind bars for the murder of Virginia Rapp. According to Rapp's companion that evening, she was found sick in the bathroom of Arbuckle's hotel and had to be taken to the hospital. Her companion believes that Arbuckle had sexually assaulted Rapp and in the process caused her bladder to rupture. An autopsy found no evidence that an assault took place, and his lawyers produced evidence showing that Rapp had a chronic bladder condition. He was charged with manslaughter as a result. While he was ultimately acquitted, the damage to his career had been done, and Arbuckle could no longer find work as an actor. Number 8. Natalie Woods' death. Let me start by saying, there are many unknowns in this case, and while there has been an alleged cover-up, nothing has ever been proven. The story goes that Natalie Wood, a woman who feared water her entire life and could not swim, went on a weekend boat trip to Catalina Island with her husband Robert Wagner and fellow actor Christopher Walken, as well as the captain of the ship, Dennis Davern. Her body was found 1 mile away from the boat. The autopsy showed that she had bruises on her body and arms and an abrasion on her left cheek. However, where they came from is unknown. Allegedly, Wood and Wagner argued that evening, which Wagner admits to in his memoir. Authorities say that it is possible that she was assaulted before she drowned. However, it is just as possible that she simply slipped. As things currently stand, the death has been ruled an accidental drowning. Some believe that a cover-up involving Robert Wagner was devised by some very high-up people, including Ronald Reagan. Whatever it was that happened, what we know to be true is that Natalie Wood, tragically, perished by drowning that night, and a great talent was lost. 7. Celebrity abortion protocols. I want to preface this by warning anyone who has had to deal with a terminated pregnancy or child loss. This is going to be hard to digest, so please proceed with caution. It's no secret that old Hollywood had an excessive degree of control over their actors and actresses, with many being unable to get married. However, given these women were seen as assets to the studio and not as people, if they were discovered to be pregnant, the studios would often force actresses to terminate the pregnancy. Studios would cover up the reason the actress had disappeared and force them back to work shortly after the termination. Yeah, pretty disgusting stuff. I don't really feel that I have the right to comment on how hard that must have been for the actresses, but my sympathies go out to anyone who has ever had to face something like that. I can't even begin to understand how horrible that must be. Number 6. Judy Garland's entire career. This poor woman. So again, it's no secret that old Hollywood was a really awful place to be, especially if you were an actress. And Judy Garland seems to have gone through more than any woman should ever have had to go through. Garland was famously overworked, and the studio put her on drugs, specifically amphetamines and barbiturates, as well as adrenaline shots and pills so that they could stay awake and work longer hours. And MGM head Louis B. Mayer forced her to sit on his lap, groped her, and complimented her as he did so. Tragically, Garland passed away at the young age of 47 after overdosing on barbiturates.
At number 5, we have Kristen Stewart and Robert Pattinson. The Twilight movies are some of the biggest successful films of our time, and while the book was better than the movie, it did steal our hearts. And at the center of the media frenzy, you would find Robert and Kristen making headlines as the two co-stars began a relationship during filming, and fans were completely obsessed. However, all of this would change after the paparazzi released pictures of Kristen and Rupert Saunders, who was the director of Snow White and the Huntsman, engaging in some major PDA. And everyone had some major opinions about it. Kristen would eventually publicly apologize to Robert, and then the two reconciled for a time, but then eventually broke up. Later, Kristen would recall her relationship with Robert and would describe it as being young and stupid. While we wish Kristen and Robert could share their love off-screen like Bella and Edward, we all knew her relationship was doomed to come to an end at some point because, let's face it, she really should have chosen Jacob. And I'm gonna stand by that statement. Number 4, Nick Young and Iggy Azalea. Now, it all began with a prank prank war that would be exposed when Nick Young had cheated on Iggy Azalea. When the LA Lakers were involved in a prank war, a video that was recorded by fellow player D'Angelo Russell, the video would eventually be leaked to the public, and it would show Nick Young apparently admitting to cheating on rapper Iggy Azalea. Later, Nick would try to claim that it was all false, and he somehow was able to convince Iggy it was all just one giant rumor, and she ended up continuing on with their relationship. However, it wouldn't be long until Iggy would suddenly tweet that she had dumped Nick because she caught him on a security camera bringing girls into their home. To add more insult to the injury, news would soon start to circulate that Nick was expecting a baby with his ex-girlfriend Kiona Green, and the baby was definitely conceived while he was still in a relationship with Iggy. Out of all the lows that could have happened, it's kind of funny that Nick thought that he could bring girls into the house and Iggy wouldn't catch him when she watched the surveillance footage. Number 3, Miley Cyrus and Liam Hemsworth. Miley Cyrus and Liam Hemsworth's long-term relationship was a rift filled with cheating rumors. While Liam was accused of straying away multiple times while they were still engaged, news would start to surface that he even got with January Jones while the two were still together. The two would then end up calling things off, but then they would get back together a couple years later, and then they would even find themselves getting married. While the marriage only lasted less than a year, at some point, everyone started to accuse Miley of cheating. Just after a week of the two's devastating breakup, Miley would be forced to address the rumors of her almost 8-month marriage, as well as some of the most scandalous episodes from her past. While Miley has been pretty open and transparent with her fans, she couldn't believe people were accusing her of infidelity. The same day the news broke of their split, on the other hand though, Miley was spotted kissing Caitlyn Carter in Italy. Despite all the rumors about her unfaithfulness, Miley would come out to say the truth is, once Liam and I reconciled, I meant it and I was committed. I can admit to a lot of things, but I refuse to admit that my marriage ended because of cheating. Liam and I have been together for a decade. I've said it before and it remains true. I love Liam and always will. Number 2, Ben Affleck and Jennifer Garner. As adorable as they look together, I don't think any of us truly believe Ben Affleck and Jennifer Garner were ever meant to be together, as his heart has always belonged to J-Lo. While Ben definitely benefited from Jennifer as a grounding force in his life, they did go on to have 3 amazing kids together, but it's clear that Ben wasn't ready to ever settle down in their relationship, as it was reported that he had cheated on her with the nanny. While Jennifer would say she didn't find out about the affair before the formal couple made the decision to get a divorce, the alleged incident was said to happen before they even came to the final decision that their relationship was over. Later in a conversation with Vanity Fair, Jennifer would confirm that Ben did have an affair with the nanny, as she said, "Let me just tell you something. We have been separated for months before I even heard about the nanny. She had nothing to do with our decision to divorce. She was not a part of the equation," and she elaborated on how she had to deal with it, and she said it wasn't great for her kids to have a nanny disappear from their lives, and that she had to have many conversations with her children about the meaning of the scandal. Still, at the end of the day, Jennifer would open up about how there was no need to attack Ben, as people have pain and they do regrettable things and they feel shame, and shame equals pain. And coming in number 1 today, we have Brad Pitt and Jennifer Aniston. Brad Pitt and Jennifer Aniston were once a dream couple, and I honestly wish they would get back together because Brad made a huge mistake leaving her for Angelina Jolie. However, even with them being a dream couple, they proved that Disney fairy tales can't come true, as their romance came to a screeching halt when they decided to get divorced in 2005. For years, Brad and Angelina would deny the cheating rumors, and it would come out just after the film Mr. and Mrs. Smith that Brad had fallen in love with Jolie. However, karma had different plans for Brad and Angelina, as their relationship ended up being quite ill-fated as well. In 2020, Brad would finally admit to cheating on Jennifer when he sat down for an interview and apologized to Jennifer by saying, "It grieves me that it was interpreted this way. Jennifer is incredibly giving, loving, and hilarious woman who remains my friend. It is an important relationship I value greatly. The point I was trying to make is not that Jen was doll, but I was becoming doll to myself, and I am responsible for." Coming number 10, we have Adam Levine and Behati Prinsloo. Adam Levine started to make headlines when an Instagram model named Sumner Stroff claimed they had an affair shortly after he announced his wife's 3rd pregnancy. Adam, for his part, tried to deny the cheating accusations in a social media statement when he said, "I used poor judgment in speaking with any other woman than my wife in any kind of flirtatious manner. The Maroon 5 band member wrote via Instagram story in September 2022, "I did not have an affair. Nevertheless, I crossed the line during a regrettable period of my life. In certain instances, it became inappropriate. I have addressed that and have taken proactive steps to remedy this with my family." Sumner, who clearly didn't like the Maroon 5 frontman's answer, then came for the singer again when she came out to claim that not only did they have a consensual relationship, but Adam also tried to name his unborn child after her and asked her if she was okay with that. Adam would then add, "My wife and family is all I care about in this world. To be this naive and stupid enough to risk the only thing that truly matters to me was a great mistake I could ever make. I will never make it again." While Prinsloo did not respond to her husband's statement, Sumner would make one final jab at Adam when she took to her Instagram to throw some more shade and urge someone to give him a dictionary. Number 9. Kevin Hart in Anoka Parish. During an interview in 2017 with 105.1 FM's The Breakfast Club, Kevin Hart would admit to cheating on his then pregnant wife during a trip to Las Vegas. In the interview after the confession, Kevin Hart would say, "I'm hoping that she has the heart to where she can forgive me and understand that this is not going to be a reoccurring thing and allow me to recover from my effing mistake." Kevin would then reveal that his wife, whom he shares his son Kenzo with, was expecting a baby girl in 2020 with him and held him accountable for his actions. He would then say, "She came to an amazing conclusion of, I like the fact that we have a family, that we have a household, and I like the fact we now have got a job to do better. That's what you owe me. You owe me to get better." Kevin then explained on the School of Greatness podcast in 2020 that it was her understanding that they didn't need to let the world affect their inside that saved their relationship, and he even credited his wife for setting that tone. Hey my little peaches, are you liking this video so far? If so, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Coming number 8, we have Cardi B and Offset. Back in 2017, Migos member Offset would come under fire for multiple allegations of infidelity after he appeared to be caught in bed with other women in videos that surfaced online. Cardi B would then respond to the rumors about the relationships on her Twitter, telling fans that this stuff happens to everyone. A source then would later reveal exclusively to us and said that she had zero intention on leaving her fiance. Then, in June of 2018, news broke that the two had secretly got married in Atlanta back in September 2017. In the following month, the duo would then welcome their first child. Cardi would then reveal in an Instagram video in December 2018 that she and Offset had called it quits after more than a year of marriage. In that same month, Offset former fling, who he allegedly hooked up with in June of 2018, apologized for her part in the pair's drama. Offset later publicly apologized to his estranged wife twice before the two reconciled and hit the Grammys red carpet together in February of 2019. Number 7, Beyonce and Jay-Z. Back in 2017, Jay-Z would finally admit to the rumors of his infidelity and that they were true, after he made a series of thinly veiled apologies to his wife, Beyonce, on his album that came after Beyonce released her own album, Lemonade, which took on the empowerment and revenge when she exposed her husband and said that he cheated on her with someone she referred to as Becky with the good hair. And to this day, we're all still wondering who Becky really is. Jay-Z, however, would finally spill everything out in an interview with the New York Times, and it would be the first time Jay-Z would admit that he actually had been unfaithful when it came to his relationship with Beyonce. In the interview, Jay-Z would say, "You have to survive, so you go into survival mode, and when you go into survival mode, what happens? You shut down all emotions. So even with women, you gotta shut down emotionally so you can't connect. In my case, it's deep." And then all the things happen from there, like infidelity. Now, he wouldn't elaborate on the identity of Becky, but Beyonce and Jay-Z were able to work together on their relationship, and they're still together to this day. Number 6, Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith. Back in April of 2022, Jada Pinkett Smith would admit that she was having an affair with singer August while she was married to Will Smith. The actress revealed that 5.5 years ago, her marriage was going through a rough patch and she was separated from Will with the intention to get a divorce. She then had a relationship with August. During her conversation with her husband Will on her Facebook series, Red Table Talk, Jada would explain, "I started a friendship with August and we actually became really, really good friends." She would then add that she wanted decided to help the musician with his mental state and found resources to help pull him through a troubling time. The actor revealed, "I got into different kinds of entanglements with August, and in the process of that relationship I definitely realized you can't find happiness outside yourself." She also wanted to make it clear that August was not a homewrecker, but she and Will were going through a process of healing in a much different manner as a couple.
At number 5, DaBaby. This year, rapper DaBaby became one of the latest celebrities to be cancelled. He got into quite the controversy after he said some pretty offensive things while on stage performing at Rolling Loud in Miami. While on stage, the rapper made offensive comments about the gay community as well as HIV and AIDS, calling it a quote, "deadly sexually transmitted disease that'll make you die in 2-3 weeks. He also went on to say some more homophobic things about gay men that also added fuel to the fire. Celebrities like Dua Lipa and Elton John condemned the rapper's comments and tried to take the rapper's cancellation as an opportunity to educate the public on what DaBaby said, how it was wrong, and also put an effort into trying to educate the public specifically on HIV and AIDS to put the stigma spread by DaBaby's comments to rest. Because of this scandal, the rapper got into some real hot water with the LGBTQ+ community and lost a lot of support as well. At number 4, Meghan Markle and Prince Harry. Earlier this year, Meghan Markle and Prince Harry sat down for an exclusive interview with Oprah where they went in depth about their split from the royal family, as well as their feelings of having been part of it. A lot of information was shared as they opened up a lot about their life, and it ended up causing quite the controversy. The couple spoke a lot about their perspective of life in the royal family, raising their son, their marriage, and they also spoke out about their mental health. Meghan even opened up saying that there was a time where she wanted to take her own life. Her confession about having those thoughts ended up causing quite a controversy as people started questioning her mental health and whether that statement was actually true or not. The biggest debate on this topic came from TV presenter Piers Morgan, and he had a lot to say about Meghan and the interview. So much so that he ended up losing his job because he went overboard with the criticisms and hate, and the backlash he started to face made it difficult to continue. This interview was just supposed to be an exclusive interview to check in on the royal couple after they left the royal family, but because of all the information that was shared that day, it blew up into a huge scandal that was in the news for weeks. At number 3, Dr. Phill. Earlier this year, Dr. Phill was exposed and cancelled following rapper Bad Baby's YouTube video where she spoke out about the treatment that she experienced from a youth reform camp that she was sent to after her time on Dr. Phil's show. The rapper, whose real name is Danielle Bregoli, posted a video to her YouTube channel where she opened up about what she experienced, detailing how staff at the camp called Turnabout Ranch treated her and other kids. In the video, she shared how she was taken from her home in the middle of the night, handcuffed, and wasn't allowed to sleep or shower for 3 days. She also told her viewers that staff used restraints on people and that some people had also claimed to have been assaulted while there. Danielle exposed Dr. Phill because he was the one who recommended this camp and has been doing so for such a long time. People were absolutely furious with Dr. Phill because he condoned such a horrific place, and he was cancelled for it. Danielle demanded that Dr. Phill apologize for his actions and for supporting Turnabout Ranch. People find it hard to believe that he had no prior knowledge of what was going on at the ranch, and so when he faced backlash for it all, people said that this was all his own fault. At number 2, Jessie Nelson. On October 8th this year, former Little Mix member Jessie Nelson released her music video for her song Boys featuring Nicki Minaj. After the video dropped, backlash ensued as viewers immediately started speculating on whether or not Jessie was deliberately trying to portray herself as a black woman for the content, and people started calling her out for blackfishing. Blackfishing is the term given when a non-black person alters their appearance to resemble someone who is black or mixed by playing off black aesthetics and styles. In the Boys music video, fans pointed out that Jessie was using a lot of black-centric aesthetics, most noticeably a darker tan. But with this blackfishing controversy came more drama as people started looking into Jessie's past with Little Mix. Soon one of the girl group's members came forward saying that she had actually warned Jessie about blackfishing and how it's wrong, but Jessie still did it anyway, and even went so far as to claim that no one ever commented on it until this video came out. It made a lot of people see how messy this girl group was and had people speculating what really went down when Jessie left the group. And finally, at number 1, Britney Spears. Probably the biggest scandal to come out this year was the Free Britney movement and the drama surrounding her conservatorship. conservatorship. After the Free Britney documentary was released months ago, people got to really see what Britney's life was like behind the scenes and how the people around her led her to where she is today. The biggest concern with this movement was regarding her conservatorship, as the public learned what the singer can and cannot do. Many people said that this hold on her life was too extreme and there was a battle to get her out of the conservatorship held by her father Jamie. Luckily, after multiple court cases, testimonies, family drama, as well as media coverage and social media support, Britney's father petitioned to end his daughter's conservatorship and he was suspended from her conservatorship as well. Now Britney is engaged and has more freedom than she has in a while. Before I wrap things up for today, I want you guys to leave a comment down below telling me what you think the most memorable celebrity scandal from this past year was.
And at number 10, the college admissions scandal. In 2019, the world was shocked to learn that the government had spent years investigating university bribes. The investigation, called Operation Varsity Blues, uncovered that hundreds of parents had paid hundreds of thousands of dollars to ensure their child got into the best schools in America. Even more shocking, some of the parents involved were wealthy celebrities like Felicity Huffman and Lori Loughlin. Huffman admitted to paying $15,000 to up her daughter's SAT scores, issued a public apology, pled guilty, then served 11 days of a 2-week sentence. Lori was accused of paying $500,000 to get her daughters into USC, maintained her innocence, and in 2020 was sentenced to 2 months in prison, while her husband Massimo was sentenced to 5 months. And at number 9, Tristan Thompson cheats on Khloe Kardashian. Usually someone cheating wouldn't be a big enough deal to completely overload social media, but in the case of Tristan and Khloe, the cheating was so outrageous that people could not believe it was really happening. The first time Tristan was exposed for cheating, Khloe was 8 months pregnant with their child, and videos and photos showed him out clubbing with women, and even taking one back to his hotel room. But that was not all. The internet broke once again when it was reported that Tristan cheated on Khloe again, this time with her younger sister Kylie's best friend, Jordyn Woods, who was basically a part of the family at that point. Sources said that the NBA star was seen cozying up to Jordyn at a party where they made out and were all over each other. After that shocking and embarrassing scandal, Khloe not only dumped Tristan, but Kylie was forced to cut ties with her BFF. And at number 8, Jeffrey Epstein. For years, people have speculated that rich celebrities have private islands where they participate in things that normal people could not even think of. And in 2019, it was exposed that those theories were true, and a good portion of the world's elites had participated in disgusting and illegal conduct while on Jeffrey Epstein's island. During that investigation, we learned that Prince Andrew, Bill Clinton, Donald Trump, and Bill Gates had connections to this island and were documented as friends of Epstein's. The ties to the royal family were the most shocking, and the public was horrified to learn that Epstein and his accomplice, Ghislaine Maxwell, were so close to the royals they actually vacationed at one of the Queen's private residences. As of now, Prince Andrew is being investigated in connection with Epstein, and he's been stripped from the royal family. And at number 7, Jussie Smollett. In 2019, Jussie Smollett claimed that he had been attacked on the streets of Chicago by white Trump supporters, who told him, quote, "This is mega country," put a noose around his neck, and poured a chemical substance on him. Social media was set on fire after the attack and pitted Democrats and Republicans against each other even more than they had been before, especially since the president at the time, Donald Trump, was deemed responsible for the incident. However, months later, it was reported that the entire thing was a lie, and he was never actually attacked like he claimed. Jussie was arrested and later charged by the Chicago Police Department for giving them false information. Jussie was then indicted on 16 felony charges, and in 2020 he was indicted on 6 more charges. He has been found guilty on all the charges, although he still claims he is not lying. And at number 6, Kylie Jenner's pregnancy. Nothing broke the internet quite like when Kylie Jenner posted a video to YouTube sharing that she had been pregnant for the last 9 months and kept it entirely secret. Not only was she pregnant, but her daughter Stormi was born before the release of the video. Rumors had been swirling that she was pregnant, and it seemed likely because Kylie stayed at home way more than usual during this time, clearly hiding something from the world. In an Instagram post, Kylie apologized for keeping everyone in the dark, but said that she wanted to keep her pregnancy to herself in order to truly enjoy that time. For her second pregnancy, Kylie did not keep it hidden and shared tons of photos and videos with fans. Some fans were even convinced that she had already given birth to her second child and was keeping it hidden because of the Astroworld tragedy. But after the recent birthday party of Stormi, where Kylie was seen incredibly pregnant, it's clear that she is still waiting to give birth, but it looks like it could be any day now.
In at number 5, Louis C.K. For years, Louis C.K. denied any and all claims made against him that he ever acted inappropriately with women. Even when rumors began swirling on Twitter, friends like Jon Stewart were quick to come to his defense. However, once the New York Times published their article detailing the pattern of Louis' sexual misconduct, nearly all of the comedy community let the cat out of the bag. Once it was made public, everyone was coming out of the woodwork to say that they knew that he had strange sexual desires all along, but worked with him regardless.
You always find yourself back to a moment of, did I miss something? Could I have done more? Or the thing. And in this situation, I think we all could have.
Also, you didn't see in that clip, but Matt Lauer was the one who asked Jon Stewart how it felt to hear Louis admit what he had done. Now, get ready for the next person on this list. In at number 4, Matt Lauer. Matt Lauer is a former television news anchor and co-host of NBC's Today Show, as well as a contributor for Dateline NBC. His Me Too accusations shocked many fans due to his often smiley and wholesome demeanor. The exact same month that he was covering the news about Louis C.K., he too was exposed as one of the most extreme cases and explicit forms of workplace harassment. Out of all of the reporters that had been Me Too'd, Lauer was the worst. More than 10 women who worked for the network had complained about harassment by Matt, but nothing was done. As the story unfolded, his case became even more frightening to take in. Apparently, he had installed a button underneath his desk that would allow him to close the office door while seated so that he could lock his victims in the office with him, which sounds like something a supervillain would do. And in his apology statement, Lauer said, "There are no words to express my sorrow and regret for the pain I have caused others by words and actions. To the people I hurt, I am truly sorry." You're only sorry that you got caught. Nice try though. In at number 3, Kevin Spacey. Kevin for a long time was by far the most demanded actor of his generation. His library of roles was huge and his fame made the actor seem untouchable. Then Broadway actor Anthony Rapp came forward and accused Spacey of forcing himself on him when he was only 14 years old. Following that, 15 other men came forward accusing Spacey of a similar experience. His career was pretty much cancelled at that point, but Kevin found a way to make things even worse for himself. In his apology, he took a moment to come out as gay, for which the LGBTQ community denied any association. As a result of these accusations, Spacey was fired from House of Cards and was removed from the film All the Money in the World, and safe to say the only acting that he'll be doing now is probably on his YouTube page. In at number 2, Harvey Weinstein. There are not too many cover-up scandals like the case of Harvey Weinstein. The way this man rose to power was by co-founding the entertainment company Miramax with his brother Bob. After leaving Miramax, Harvey and Bob would go on to found the Weinstein Company. They were a mini major film studio that was casting some of the top names in Hollywood. However, Harvey's sexual abuse was out of control. In 2017, 6 women filed a lawsuit against Harvey, claiming that there were actions being taken to cover up the assaults and they amounted to civil racketeering. In the lawsuit, they also said that there was a coalition of companies and people that took part in what they referred to as the Weinstein sexual enterprise. After the legal process was started, over 80 other women came forward to accuse Harvey of sexual assault. Last but not least, in our number 1 spot, Bill Cosby. You had to see this one coming as our number 1 spot. I mean, come on. Rightfully so. What this man did was absolutely deplorable. Cosby was found guilty of 3 counts of drugging and assaulting Andrea Costrand in 2004, and more than 60 women have accused Cosby for years of inappropriate behavior. At 80 years old, Bill Cosby is most likely going to die in prison, which is just absolutely wild considering that for the longest time, we referred to him as America's dad. His dark scandals were hidden by everyone that worked closely with him, and the women that tried to speak up were silenced. Although, thanks to the brave victims that stepped forward, Cosby's cover-up is finally over.
Coming in number 10 today, we have Tristan Thompson and Khloe Kardashian. On April 11, 2018, photos of Tristan Thompson would start to circulate online where it would show him cheating on his then 9-month pregnant girlfriend, Khloe Kardashian. And just like that, we all guessed things would make a turn for the worse. TMZ would then post a video from October 2017 that showed Tristan kissing 2 other women at a club. Despite all the cheating rumors, Tristan was with Khloe for the birth of their child, as seen on an episode of Keeping Up with the Kardashians. The two would then remain a couple and would end up fully getting back together. However, in February 2019, Tristan truly wasn't to give up his ways, as reports would start to surface again that Khloe Kardashian and Tristan had split because he had cheated on her, and this time with a close friend of the family, Kylie Jenner's bestest friend and roommate, Jordan Woods. When anonymous party attendees told TMZ that Tristan and Jordan were spotted throughout the night being all over each other and making out, Jordan's actions would become the ultimate betrayal to the family. Tristan and Khloe, however, would reconcile again, but they would appear to break up for good not so long after a paternity scandal involving Tristan and another woman broke. This would happen around the same time Tristan and Khloe were expecting another child together as well. Number 9. Cardi B and Offset. After 3 years of marriage, Cardi B would file for a divorce from Offset after rumors started to circulate that he had cheated on her. While Cardi would make the decision to call off the divorce and get back together with Offset, this cheating scandal would definitely ruin Hollywood, and the cheating rumors haven't exactly gone away. It all started when Tekashi's 6ix9ine girlfriend shared a flirty DM that Offset had sent her on Instagram. Cardi would then reveal that Offset's Instagram got hacked when the DM was sent, and it wasn't really from him. In her Vogue interview, Cardi confirmed Offset cheated on her, and she would say, "When me and my husband got into our issues, you know, he cheated and everything, and I decided to stay with him and work together with him. A lot of people were so mad at me. A lot of women felt disappointed in me. While it seems like trolls don't want to see Cardi and Offset end up together, there still continues to be cheating rumors surrounding the couple." With the latest rumor claiming that Offset had cheated on Cardi with Saweetie, Cardi has been forced to clap back by saying, "No baby, you lying. You're making crazy lies and stating it and putting female rappers in it with no receipts. No blog ever spoke on this, and all of a sudden you come out of jail 5 days ago and you made up a lie in 2 hours with no receipts." And honestly, I just think everybody just needs to leave Cardi and Offset alone already. Hey my little peaches, are you enjoying this video so far? If so, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Coming number 8, we have Beyonce and Jay-Z. When Beyonce released her much anticipated album Lemonade, she put a spotlight onto her marriage with Jay-Z, and since there has been so much speculation about who Becky with the good hair is, that it's even become a major meme. While the duo was pretty quiet about whether Lemonade was based on their marriage, it wasn't until 2017 that we would know that it was the truth when Jay-Z released his album 444, which was full of apologies to Beyonce and to their daughter Blue. He would also open up in an interview with David Letterman about how his infidelities nearly destroyed their marriage and how he has done work to repair their union. Jay-Z would say, "Much like you, I have a beautiful wife who was understanding and who knew that I'm not the worst of what I've done, and who did the work of going to therapy, and really, we love each other. We put in the work." While Jay-Z has recently continued to grow into the proud father and husband he is today, it's been pretty outstanding to see. Number 7, Kevin Hart and Anuka Parrish. The story of Kevin Hart's infidelity is confusing at best. When he first denied the cheating scandal in July of 2017, he would then post a video on his Instagram apologizing with the caption, "Sending so many apologies to my wife and kids. I gotta do better, and I will. I'm not perfect, and I have never claimed to be. I love you all." It would later also be revealed that Hart was at the center of an alleged extortion attempt, as someone allegedly was in possession of a video that showed Kevin engaging with another woman that wasn't his wife, and they were trying to expose Kevin in an attempt so they could receive some money. It wouldn't be until Kevin had an interview with The Breakfast Club where he would finally admit to his cheating. When Hart finally decided to speak about the scandal that happened on a 2020 podcast, he would go on to say when Anuka Parrish found out about the situation, it wasn't exactly a walk in the park for the comedian, but when she finally came to the conclusion of it, Hart would say, "I like the fact we have a family, that we have a household, and I like the fact we now got a job to do better. That's what you owe me. You owe me to get better." Number 6, Jada Pinkett Smith and Will Smith. Though the Smiths themselves wouldn't call it a scandal, the rest of the world would be shocked when August Alsina spoke about a relationship he had with Jada Pinkett Smith during an interview in June 2020. August would say, "I totally gave myself to that relationship for years of my life, and I truly and really deeply love and have a ton of love for her." He would then go on to claim that Will knew about the relationship and gave August and Jada his blessing. Naturally, people were shocked that the Smiths are one of the longest lasting and famous Hollywood couples in recent history. First, the couple issued a quick statement denying the relationship, but then Jada would announce on her Twitter that she was taking herself to the red table. In July of 2020, the Smiths would sit down at the red table to discuss their relationship, and they would speak about a dark period of their marriage when they thought they were going to separate and never speak again. That's when Jada and August started their relationship. While Will did deny giving August permission, he did know that the two were seeing each other. When August and Jada's relationship finally came to an end, Will and her decided to try to work things out. However, to this day, it seems like Jada tries everything she can to humiliate Will, and I just don't support it.
Number 5, Alfred Hitchcock was a stalker. According to actress Tippi Hedren, who starred in Alfred Hitchcock's films The Birds and Marnie, famed director Alfred Hitchcock stalked, harassed, and sexually assaulted her during the time they worked together. Allegedly, Hitchcock was possessive of Hedren, and he warned the other castmates not to touch her, and that if he saw her talking to another man, he would have an unbreakable stare on his face. He even had her handwriting analyzed and had his assistants make sure she was not seeing other men. Hitchcock supposedly would have his driver pass by her home, and in one particular instance, he entered her dressing room and aggressively put his hands on her. Discussions of Hitchcock have notably left out this piece of information until recent years, when victims have come forward with allegations of his inappropriate acts. And in light of these allegations, I can't say I'll be watching his films again anytime soon. Number 4. Woody Allen child sexual abuse. Yeah, this is a big one, and not too long ago either. So, Woody Allen, for those who don't know, is an acclaimed director, but also one who is quite notorious for his inappropriate relationships. Most notably, marrying his ex-wife's adopted daughter. But in 1992, he was accused of sexually molesting his adopted daughter, Dylan Farrow, when she was 7 years old. While there are many claims involved in that case, what we know for certain is that Allen had already been in therapy for his behavior regarding Dylan. He refused to take a polygraph test regarding the incident, a judge found his behavior inappropriate and felt Dylan needed protection, and Dylan's allegations are corroborated by 3 other adults present during the time of the incident. So, yeah, that's one more director I won't be watching. Number 3. Jimmy Savile. This one's a real disappointment. So, Jimmy Savile, famous for the UK show Jim'll Fix It, where he had children write in to have their wishes granted, a show many in the UK, including Ricky Gervais, have cited writing to, died in 2011. A year later, ITV aired a documentary that examined the claims of sexual abuse against Savile over the years, and what was found was unimaginable. The Leeds General Infirmary and Broadmoor Psychiatric Hospital found that he had sexually assaulted staff and patients between ages 5 and 75 over the decades. A report by the NSPCC and Metropolitan Police stated that 450 people made complaints against Savile, with the ages at the time of the assaults ranging from 8 to 47, including 28 children under age 10. Yeah, pretty much a textbook example for never meeting your heroes. Number 2. Loretta Young adopts her own child. So, as discussed before, the old Hollywood system tried to force women to terminate their pregnancies so they could be used as assets for as long as possible. However, when this occurred for Loretta Young, such an action was considered unthinkable for her. Loretta Young found herself pregnant with the child of Clark Gable, in a relationship that she has since described as date rape. After finishing shooting the film The Call of the Wild in 1935, Young returned from a hiatus with an adopted daughter. The truth is that the child was her own, but she covered up her parentage. Old Hollywood, we will not miss you. Let's end on a happier note, shall we? Number 1. Kylie Jenner's pregnancy. So, nothing too outlandish here. Prior to giving birth, Kylie Jenner took steps to hide her pregnancy from the media. Of course, plenty of sources leaked information, but for the most part, she was able to maintain some degree of privacy and safely gave birth to her daughter Stormy in 2018. The simple reason for the cover-up was she simply wanted to prepare privately and do this outside the public eye. And given how public a figure she normally is, you can't blame her for wanting a little bit of privacy.
In at number 10, George Raft. George Raft was a stylish leading man that took roles in a ton of gangster and mafia style movies. He always would play the tough guy, the convict, or the rough mobster, although it was his real life association with the mafia that pushed casting directors to lean in this direction. George even said that he never regarded himself as an actor. He said, "I wanted to be me." But you can't let that kind of information out to the public, it'll destroy the prestige of Hollywood, so instead they hid his mafioso background and kept casting him in roles that fit that persona. Although as much as Hollywood tried to hide it, the mob didn't care to. In fact, it was Bugsy Siegel, a known mobster with movie connections, that helped George break into Hollywood in the first place. Even while filming the 1932 Scarface movie, people like Al Capone kept showing up on set, and reportedly it was Capone teaching the director how to fire a Tommy gun while filming that really started to draw attention. In at number 9, Marilyn Monroe. I'm sure we could do an entire video just on Marilyn alone, but unfortunately we don't have the time. Her real name was Norma Mortensen, but later in life she would transform into this pop culture icon that for the most part was considered to be the standard of beauty. She was married 3 times, but after the 3rd divorce, her life began to get really rough. This is well before TMZ though was ever a thing, so any of the drama in Marilyn Monroe's life was hidden away. After the divorce, she was being brought around to Hollywood parties to entertain the executives. 1970s. It was rumored that she had brief romances with people like Marlon Brando and Frank Sinatra. Oh, and let's not forget the time that she had an affair with John F. Kennedy while he was the President of the United States. And I don't want to sound like some sort of conspiracy theorist here, but Monroe was found dead in her home 3 months after that affair. Something to look into. In at number 8, Roman Polanski. March 10th, 1977, Roman Polanski conducts a photo shoot with an underage woman at Jack Nicholson's house. Then Jack's girlfriend at the time, Angelica Huston, came home to find the director's jacket along with some cameras. Moments later, Polanski and the young woman came around the corner. Roman introduced this girl to Angelica and said that they had been taking photos. And the victim, Samantha Geimer, would later testify that Roman gave her champagne and then forced her to have sex with him when she was only 13 years old. People found Polanski to be so prolific that they were willing to turn a blind eye to his nefarious behavior just so that they could remain on his good side and, well, be in his films. However, his victim uncovered this scandal when she alerted the authorities as to what had just happened to her. Roman pleaded not guilty and then immediately fled the country. Even 26 years later, he could not accept an Oscar for his film The Pianist because there was still a warrant out for his arrest. On May 3rd, 2018, the Academy finally recognized what a creep that he was and announced that they were going to expel Polanski. In at number 7, Charlie Chaplin. Now I understand how that name may form a thought in your head that says, no, not Charlie Chaplin, what did he do? However, this scandal only slightly involves Chaplin, but regardless, he was smack dab in the middle of it. William Randolph Hearst was an evil businessman, politician, and newspaper publisher. Hearst believed that Charlie Chaplin was having an affair with his mistress Marion Davies. However, instead of just confronting Chaplin, he invited him and a number of other important film industry professionals to join him on his yacht. Amongst them was Thomas Ince. Thomas was a Hollywood producer looking for new investors to keep his studio afloat. Now what you have to understand is that during this time the newspaper was really the only way that people got their information, and William ran the newspaper. So naturally when Hollywood producer Thomas Ince was shot, the story was just buried. What actually happened was Hearst was trying to shoot his gun at Charlie Chaplin on the yacht, but missed and killed Thomas Ince instead. And the scandal was uncovered once the LA Times ran with the headline, "Movie producer shot on Hearst yacht." And now to move on to the Me Too portion of the video, and like I said earlier, some of these details may be very hard to hear. In at number 6, Jeffrey Tambor. Working as an actor for nearly 4 decades, Jeffrey Tambor's career came to a screeching halt with the start of the Me Too movement. At the time, his career was at an all-time high. He was set to star in the show Transparent and take part in the comeback of Arrested Development. Slowly but surely though, women started coming forwards and they all shared an eerily similar story of Tambor making rude sexual comments towards them. One of his accusers even said that Jeffrey had been watching her sleep, and his ex-assistant on the show Transparent eventually broke her silence and opened up about what really happened on the set of Transparent, and as a result of her claims, he was fired from the show.
5. Theo James and Shailene Woodley. These are some names you may not be super familiar with unless you were a teen in the early 2010s. James and Woodley are the stars of the Divergent series, young adult films about a dystopian future where society is split into 5 factions, and one girl who does not fit into any one specific category. Woodley plays the leading lady, Tris Pryor, and Theo plays the leader of Dauntless named 4, aka Tobias. In the books, Tobias and Tris meet under strange circumstances and spark an intense romantic fuse. They then spend the next 2 movies running together from the faction elites. Playing a couple on set though seemed to have given the pair a brilliant idea as they began appearing closer and cuddlier as time went on. Many times in interviews for the second Divergent movie, the pair can be seen making cute comments and subtly flirting with each other, but sadly their fake love was not meant to last, as with the franchise coming to an end in 2016, so did their PR stunt. The couple maintained that the relationship actually never took place, but judging by the on-screen chemistry, that actually might be true. That might be true. Number 4. Kid Rock and Pamela Anderson. The singer and the lifeguard. Sounds like a cheesy sitcom, right? Well, that was the actual combo that took place when Kid Rock and Pamela Anderson began an on-again, off-again relationship in the early 2000s. At first only dating, on and off again, the couple were then engaged after a reunion in 2003. They would call it off one more time before they tied the knot officially in 2006, only to file for a divorce soon after that. The back and forth nature of their relationship is not uncommon in the world of Hollywood, with many high-tier couples breaking up and reconciling over and over again. But what is uncommon is that the couple were airing out every single bit of dirty laundry for the public to see, and soon speculation turned to truth, as it was uncovered by a Hollywood insider that the couple's troubled history and rocky road were merely an attempt to keep themselves relevant in today's media circus. The plan didn't work, as most of you watching this right now probably don't even care about these guys at all, and some of you might not even know who either of these people are. So if that's the case, please go find some good old seasons of Baywatch and prepare to be amazed. Number 3. Emma Stone and Andrew Garfield. For those of you who may have forgotten, between the original Spider-Man trilogy starring Tobey Maguire and the newest trilogy of Spider-Man movies starring Tom Holland, lived a little universe in which Andrew Garfield was Spider-Man, and Sony was his ruler. The Amazing Spider-Man franchise only pumped out 2 movies between 2012 and 2024. Garfield played Peter Parker, aka Spider-Man, in the franchise, and fan favorite Emma Stone was cast to play his leading lady, Gwen Stacy. From day one on the set, the two were inseparable, spending every second of free time they had together and developing what can only imagine must have been a strong and long-lasting bond. However, these two getting together was just a little bit sus. People fall in love on set all the time, but this couldn't have been a more perfect setup if you tried. On-screen love interests who take up a majority of the film's runtime with their undeniable chemistry shining through scene after scene, not to mention they're together in the movie for real, like you fall in love with Gwen Stacy. Anyways, this almost feels like an extreme form of method acting, because the couple were together for the entirety of the franchise, 4 years, only to call it quits a few months after the premiere of The Amazing Spider-Man 2. They've maintained a strong friendship ever since, but we really do miss you guys. Come back, Gwen. Number 2. Carmen Electra and Dennis Rodman. This PR stunt lasted for all of 2 weeks in 1998. Carmen, who was then popular for her skills as a singer as well as a gifted dancer, met the famous basketball player Dennis Rodman at a nightclub in Los Angeles. They exchanged numbers and Rodman bombarded Electra with phone calls after phone calls until she finally agreed to hang out. Classic move, Dennis, negging. They started seeing each other regularly, with Rodman once even clearing out the Chicago Bulls training center so that the two could have some fun together, uninterrupted, and anywhere their little hearts desired. They got married like most couples around the time did, in Las Vegas, baby! The two were married on November 14th, 1998, only to file an annulment 9 days later. Rodman claims to have not been in the right headspace when he agreed to the marriage, and the two haven't spoken to each other in years. Reporters and paparazzi were very skeptical about this move, as the couple's ups and downs had taken over the media circuit for months, causing Electra to get her name out there more, which was super convenient seeing as she had just started building up her repertoire in the movie industry, starring in cult classic movies like Good Burger, as well as a recurring character on Baywatch. There's a good chance she would have made it on her own, but hey, it never hurts to publicly suffer first, right? Number 1. Kim Kardashian and Kris Humphries. Kris Humphries is a former basketball player, and Kim Kardashian is, well, Kim Kardashian. The reality star and basketball player began dating in 2010 after his New Jersey teammate Jordan Farmer introduced them in New York. Less than a year later, the couple were engaged and officially married at a beautiful summer wedding. Of course, all of this was front page on social media and news outlets, causing a massive buzz for both the couple and the reality show. But after just 72 days of marriage, Kardashian filed for a divorce, simply claiming they were not getting along at all. However, Kris has a different story. He simply wasn't following suit with the family's plans, claiming that Kim made him sign a prenuptial agreement before the wedding, granting her 100% of their earnings as a couple should they split. Kris filed his own annulment, claiming fraud and stating that the only reason she married him in the first place was for the TV ratings. And this was absolutely true, as proven with her immediate bounce back to Kanye West, as well as the couple's time on the show being some of the highest viewed episodes of season 6. While Kardashian knew the relationship wasn't going to work out, Kris didn't, and the entire thing was very real for him. So like, hey, Hollywood, chill out with the fake couples for a minute, you know?